They will never bow to the demon sect. After saying this, he jumped up and rushed toward Duan Tongtian, but he didn't dodge. He only sighed, too slow. Li Qingzi was immediately sent flying. The Grand Elder speculated, the skull behind him has innate black magnetism. Once the spiritual power is absorbed by it, it is immediately neutralized. Only with that treasure can he weaken us. He struggled to stand up and cursed, what do we do now? In the back, Shi Quan painfully stood up from a pile of rubble, holding his hands. At this moment, she couldn't help but sigh, worriedly thinking of her disciple, Han Ju. This kid should be in seclusion. I hope no one finds his cave. As for those few, I'm sorry. As a master, I wasn't able to protect you, I can only go ahead. Shi Quan muttered sadly to himself. Duan Tongtian spoke, the grievances of several hundred years should come to an end. Seeing her suddenly appear, he was somewhat surprised. Then, Duan Tongtian showed a lewd smile and said, such a pity, such a beauty. Over there, Mark Chu was forced into a desperate situation and had to jump into the abyss. Someone behind shouted, she jumped. Below is the abyss, keep chasing, don't let her escape. She felt helpless, as after escaping the chase, her spiritual energy had been exhausted, I can't even control my sword now. Under the pursuit of the demonic sect, Mark Chu thought she was doomed. She made up her mind, I won't let them have their way, even if I die. At this moment, she thought of Han Ju and muttered, if I had cultivated like him, it wouldn't be like this now. Will I meet him again in the next life? Just as she closed her eyes thinking she was about to die, Han Ju suddenly appeared. Miss Mark, what are you doing down here? Mark Chu opened her eyes wide, barely believing what she saw. Han Ju was floating in the air, holding her. After a long time, she stuttered, Senior Brother Han. But then, Mark Chu asked a few strange questions in confusion. Are we dead? Did we go to heaven? While you were still confused, the system prompted, Mark Chu's favorability towards you has increased, now at 5.5 stars. Han Ju took her to the place where Mark sought revenge and said, Brother Mark, I finally found you. He looked up at Han Ju flying over and thought, I can't believe it. Then, without hesitation, he handed Mark Chu over to Mark for revenge, instructing, take care of her, I need to go to the main peak. Watching Han Ju's figure gradually disappear, he wondered, how exactly did Brother Han cultivate? Mark Chu had yet to come to her senses and asked, are you also in the sky? Mark for revenge ignored her and instead pondered, 3 golden core cultivators were attacking me, and all of them were easily killed by Senior Brother Han. Han Ju hurriedly flew away, feeling an increasingly powerful aura and thought, the situation isn't optimistic. The transformation into God aura is at the main peak, it's my fault for being too late. At this moment, he passed by Yuwu Peak, which caught his attention. Han Ju immediately approached to observe and found a group of black-robed demonic cultivators surrounding several senior brothers and sisters. Meng He turned back and instructed, Junior sister. Wait for us to open a bloody path, then take the new disciples and escape. Upon hearing this, Chang Yuan'ai was shocked and turned to stop them. Yang Le solemnly said, my decision is final, even if we die. But before I die, I will send you all to hell. As soon as the words were spoken, they were ready to charge, but then they noticed 3 strange bolts of lightning. Seeing this scene, Chang Yuan'ai sharply guessed, 3 bolts of lightning? Could it be? The yellow light came down in the shape of swords, descending rapidly from the sky. They flew around a group of demonic cultivators, and wherever they passed, someone died. In just a moment, dozens of demonic cultivators were slain. Chang Yuan'ai and the others were shocked, their mouths wide open, staring at the scene in disbelief. Then, the yellow lightning flew away again, mercilessly. Chang Yuan'ai trembled and shouted, Junior brother. At this moment, a threatening voice came from the woods, I'll give you a chance. The man made a proposition, become my partner, come back to the Ming sect with me, and I will spare your life. He Hongchuan angrily replied, Duan Tongtian killed my parents, I won't go back even if I die. Upon hearing this, the man immediately drew his sword and threatened, if you refuse the drink, you'll be forced to drink the punishment. My sword is coated with poison. Just then, her gaze seemed to have discovered something. He Hongchuan suddenly shouted excitedly, husband. The man mistakenly thought she had agreed and smugly said, "Did you agree? I knew you'd recognize my worth." The man then smugly laughed, "I told you, if I wasn't forceful, how would you submit?" But he didn't realize Hanju had already appeared behind him, his gaze cold. The rustling of the leaves ceased as the killing god, Hanju, appeared. Everything went silent, and only Hongchuan's voice could be heard, "Husband." The man who had previously teased her was already lying motionless on the ground. Hongchuan was greatly shocked. That man was the second strongest among the core disciples of the demonic sect, yet he was defeated in one move. Turning around, Hanju solemnly warned, "Find a place to hide, it's not safe here anymore." Hongchuan's face flushed, shyly reminding Hanju, "Husband, you must be careful too." At this point, the system prompted that Hongchuan's favorability towards you had increased to 6 stars. Hanju cursed inwardly as he walked, "Damn this attraction and strength." On the other side, Duan Tongtian was arrogant beyond measure, mocking. "Is that all the strength the I Ching sect has? They hunted my demonic sect for hundreds of years. Now I have reached the transformation into God stage. Who dares to stop me?" Under the pressure from all sides and her injuries, Fairy Shiquan no longer had the strength to counterattack. In the distance, Li Qingzi had both arms torn off, unconscious and lying on a nearby rock. The elder also sat motionless, unable to move due to exhaustion. Duan Tongtian looked at them arrogantly and thought to himself, "Use up all the disciples of your sect, you deserve this. It will definitely help me improve my strength. At that time, the first sect, the Great Yen Dynasty, will belong to my demonic sect." He looked at the plaque of I Ching sect and shouted, "The 100-year foundation of I Ching sect, could it really be destroyed today? Destroyed here?" After speaking, he released his spiritual energy and crushed the plaque beneath his feet. Then, Duan Tongtian walked towards Fairy Shiquan step by step, filled with malice. He glared viciously and continued spreading despair, "You still won't give up? How many people do you think are still alive in I Ching sect?" Fairy Shiquan's gaze was firm, and she said clearly with wide eyes, "None." Duan Tongtian, enraged, his hand flashing with powerful spiritual energy, "This ungrateful girl, go to the Yellow Springs." The powerful spiritual energy was about to shoot towards Fairy Shiquan. Li Qingzi couldn't accept such a tragic situation and shouted out, as if he hoped he could take her place. Duan Tongtian's strike caused a huge explosion. Under the blaze of heavenly fire, Hanju immediately used the 7th level illusory step to save Fairy Shiquan. He calmly greeted, "Master. Are you all right?" Fairy Shiquan had not recovered from the feeling of impending death and stared at the disciple who should not have been here, confused. Li Qingzi sighed in fear, "Junior sister, you have a good disciple." The elder thought Hanju was somewhat cute, such a pity, he has to die here too. But suddenly, Shiquan slapped Hanju. She sternly rebuked, "What are you doing here? Go away. Be obedient. The farther you go, the better. From now on, you are no longer a disciple of I Ching sect." Hanju stood there, like an abandoned child, reaching out to grab her, "I came for you, master." Fairy Shiquan dodged and anxiously pushed him away. Duan Tongtian mocked from the side, "A 9th heaven cultivator dares to come here? Kid, you really have guts. If you kneel and kowtow 3 times to me, I will spare your life and give you a chance to join the Qingming demonic sect." Suddenly, the system gave Hanju 2 options. 1. Listen to your master and escape, and after success, you will receive a magic weapon. 2. Successfully kill the transformation into God and save I Ching sect, and receive a bottle of top-tier pills. Hanju thought, "Fortunately, there's the trial mode, or I would definitely choose to escape." He turned to Duan Tongtian and said, "I don't need the opportunity, I came here to kill you." Duan Tongtian couldn't help but laugh loudly, "Kid, you're truly arrogant." Hanju calmly walked towards him, even bitter cultivation has its passionate moments. Just as he was thinking about killing the false leader, someone suddenly shouted, "Chow chow. So you're here too." Zhang Renma appeared behind Hanju, his knife at his neck, "Die." The elder, seeing him suddenly appear, froze in fear. The captain, Tongtian, laughed loudly, "I don't need to take action myself, with the strength of the demon elder, he can crush him." I will enjoy your despair before you die." As soon as he spoke, Zhang Renma was struck and sent flying, sweeping across his face. When the man hit the ground, dust was kicked up, and Captain Tong Tian was stunned, his eyes wide open. Li Qingqing said in surprise, instantly defeating a nascent soul? This is simply impossible. The people around also widened their eyes, shocked by what they were seeing. Fairy Shi Quan quickly recognized the familiar spiritual energy and looked surprised. She turned to search and saw Han Ju standing in the thick spiritual energy, the source of that power. He slightly raised his brow and provocatively said, "Are you ready? I'll send you on your way." Captain Tongtian's eyes flashed with red light as he sneered, "Do you think that after defeating the demon elder and suffering a little, you are qualified to fight me?" The smoke slowly dissipated, revealing Zhang Renma kneeling and sitting up. He muttered angrily, "Insult. Such an insult." He yelled crazily as he charged toward Han Ju, "I will kill you." Zhang Renma summoned a lantern, using a magic item called the Exquisite Kill Heavenly Demon Lantern. The elder shouted in horror, "Young friend, step back. This magic item can refine souls." Without hesitation, he unleashed the technique Kill Heaven Wind Soul Demon, shouting, "I will use your souls to honor my disciple for 3 days. Disciple, do you see this? I am avenging you." Han Ju coldly said, "He will see you soon." He lightly pointed and said, "Sanqing Juing Sword, go." Zhang Renma's half-body instantly disappeared, and the shattered and fell, making a crisp sound. The elder and Li Qingqing were too shocked to speak, their eyes wide in disbelief. Captain Tong Tian was unafraid, his battle spirit rising. He praised, to be able to kill a sect elder at such a young age. Han Ju looked up at him and said, "Now, do I have the qualifications?" Captain Tong Tian greatly admired him, "You're powerful enough to hold an elder position in my sect. Why not come to my demonic sect? Wealth, fame, partners, and spiritual halls, I can give you all. What do you think?" Just as he looked up, the Sanqing Juing sword was already flying towards him. A spiritual energy shield appeared in front of Captain Tong Tian, and even the corner of his robe wasn't damaged. Han Ju's expression darkened, alert, the Sanqing Juing sword was blocked. Captain Tong Tian showed no concealment and slowly said, "Behind me is the innate black magnet. This treasure can absorb spiritual energy and is immune to most attacks. Unless your spiritual energy exceeds mine, you will never touch me." He began to shout, "I'm giving you a chance, it's just that your fate is extraordinary. Do you really think I would cherish talent? The world lacks nothing but talent. Why are there so few geniuses in this world? It's because those who rely on their skills survive, while everyone else dies halfway, just like you." Captain Tongtian's pressure spread out, shaking everything around him. The armies of the righteous and demonic paths were still fighting, bearing the pressure from it, unable to stop and maintain their physical stability. Zhou Fan, who was engaged in a fierce battle, was also affected by this terrifying pressure. On the mountaintop, the closest elders felt an even greater pressure. Is this the power of a complete transformation into a divine soul? Duan Tongtian flew into the air to absorb the spirit and demonic energy. "Since you're so stubborn, I'll let you taste the pain. Don't you want to protect the Yuling sect? I am standing right in front of you. Let the people of the Yuling sect die in front of you. Let's see how you protect the Yuling sect." Han Ju tightly gripped the flickering Qilin sword. "Enough talk. Are you done? What I mean is, do you have any last words?" He raised his sword, and the sword's light reflected above his head. He sneered and replied, "Leave the last words to you." A force rendered Duan Tongtian speechless, unable to utter any words. His mind was filled with countless thoughts at this moment. What's going on? Something is blocking me, I can't feel anything, my body can't move. What kind of trick is this? This was the secret technique of the Tianchu ghost sword, which Han Ju had just used. The brilliance of the technique made everything blur, and the counterforce of the sword strike made the air seem to split. Fairy Chuanshan's cold expression was shattered, and she showed a look of surprise. Li Changzi and the elder were dumbfounded, trembling and murmuring, "Duan Tongtian is dead. His nascent soul was slashed, transforming into a divine soul. The elder exclaimed in surprise. No wonder it wasn't a matter of divine powers that time. He's just too strong. This person must be kept by the Yuling sect. Hanju was carefully observing. That person only destroyed his body, and the six paths soul absorption technique. Sensed his soul fleeing. This means he still has a chance to recover. This hidden danger must be eliminated. The battle ended, and the red sky was replaced by the evening sunlight. Such a beautiful scene, yet no one cared. Everyone was busy gathering to discuss Hanju. White smoke spread, and amidst the broken items, Duan Tongtian's soul trembled and hid. Fortunately, I managed to escape in the chaos. No one should have noticed. Reluctantly, he said, he's just a nascent soul, how could this be? Who exactly is this person? What kind of immortal is he? Hanju suddenly appeared behind him, replying sternly, I am Zhao Zilong of Chengshan. The century-long conflict between the Yuling sect and the Qingming demon sect should end today. Six paths soul absorption. Under the divine light of the technique, Duan Tongtian cursed unwillingly, Zhao Zilong. Even if I become a ghost, I won't let you go. The demon beast sect won't let you go either. His divine soul finally vanished along with the light, filled with unwillingness. The life of Duan Tongtian, who had transformed into a divine soul, ended like this. Hanju withdrew his spiritual power, puzzled. What is the demon beast sect? The system reliably notified. You have eliminated the divine soul and obtained a bottle of top-tier spirit pill, the mind pill. Zhao Hao has developed hatred towards you. Current hatred level is 6 stars. He was puzzled. Who is Zhao Hao? It is said that Zhao Hao's power is at the 2nd level of the Void Realm. He hates you immensely and wishes to extract your bones and refine your soul. Current hatred level is 5 stars. Hanju felt annoyed after reading it. I should have known this old man would cause trouble. He then thought, 2nd level of the Void Realm. He was worried in his heart, I definitely can't defeat him. Even reaching the Divine Soul Realm now is difficult. Jingxi anxiously called out to everyone, look. The innate black particle seems very unusual. Everyone looked over and was shocked to see the skull, its eyes as red as blood, emitting a stream of greenish-black energy. From that black energy, a red ghost emerged, letting out a maniacal laugh. Duan Tongtian is really useless, can't even delay time. Looks like I'll have to find the next one. Fellow Taoist, truly a divine power, slaying a divine soul with a nascent soul, you've really opened my eyes. As Hanju raised his hand to form a seal and prepare to strike, the ghost provocatively said, it's futile. I am a great cultivator at the Void Realm. Your divine powers can't kill my nascent soul. But if Duan Tongtian had delayed a little more, I wouldn't just be recovering these. These words terrified those around them. Void Realm? Who exactly are you? Slowly, he introduced himself. I am Zhao Hao, an elder from the Demon Beast sect in the northern continent. I've been planning for years, but I didn't expect this change. I'll remember this grudge. Hanju squinted. So, Duan Tongtian was just stalling for time, it was all for you? Zhao Hao impatiently replied, of course. This useless man told me that no one in the Yuling sect is a match for him, and yet he still. Before he could finish, Hanju interrupted, trying to frame me? I can tell your nascent soul is different from an ordinary person's. Perhaps your true body was damaged, or your physical form was destroyed? Zhao Hao remained unflustered. You don't deserve to know, I just didn't feel like bullying a junior. Zhao Hao began to gather energy, leaving a message. I will send this information back to the Demon Beast sect. Wait for the sect to seek revenge. He then disappeared. Li Qianzi speculated, no wonder the Qingming demon sect ambushed the 10,000 demons map. It turns out this guy from the Demon Beast sect planned it all. The elder beside him responded, from now on, the Qingming sect should be expelled. Li Qianzi turned to Hanju for help. The task now is to completely eliminate the demonic cultivators' strongholds within the sect. I leave this to you. Hanju was carefully attending to Shichuan. Sorry, master, I'm useless. Let me heal you. Li Qianzi shouted.